Sometimes you forget that the video is on loop. And
I did think to myself, I was like, "Oh, I guess we're not ready." Well, I'll go
I'm like, I guess we're still going.
Sometimes time is an endless circle of consistent, strange things. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third and final bit of interlude episodes we've been doing before our next big story arc here on Frontiers of Eberron, called What's Past is Prologue. We have been gaining a little bit of flashbacks and insight into the mysterious lives of these seemingly random brought together individuals. Or is that the case? Well, we'll find out. Tonight, our final episode begins with two individuals who have been at odds with each other since their first interaction. There have been things understood and some not quite clear when brought up about each other's pasts. Some are more inclined to know what exactly the truth is of that whole matter. And perhaps when down the line, when we catch up with our present time, they're able to understand it, they might be able to discuss it. But at this point, we're going to look back. How far back? Well, 3 years ago, precisely. On a day that will inevitably be known as one of the worst days in the history of this world. But it was just another day for everyone involved. We flash back to a campsite on the outskirts of the nation of Sire. For 100 years, the war has been raging between the nations. And in one position was a group of mercenaries, or at least that's what they had been referred to as. But in reality, House Deneth is a dragon-marked house whose members are highly acclaimed at being able to do what they do. Bodyguards known for their efficiency, their martial skill. They're the muscle of dragon-marked houses. They provide raw power to a nation's army should they ever be needed. But taking sides is bad for business. And so during this war, Deneth remained neutral, or rather provided soldiers to all sides. This had an unwarranted effect, as while money can come from the highest bidder, how much is one's soul at stake? And at what cost are they willing to sell to fight, even if they don't necessarily believe in that cost? Indira Deneth, the Sentinel Marshal of this house, let her soldiers know the following thing before going off into battle or assignment. Galifar lies in ruins. destroyed by its own folly. But our rights and duties cannot be set aside. Our oaths bind us still. And let those who would oppose the law know us and end their days in fear, so that others have nothing to fear. Many members of House Deneth possess the mark of the Sentinel. This allowed them greater and enhanced abilities that other marshals were not capable of doing. But despite having strong ties, and the majority of its members being from the nation of Carneth, House Deneth refused still, to this day, to take sides. It earned its status as a mercenary house by offering soldiers from a guild that it was referred to as Blade Marks. It carefully contracted its soldiers by selecting battles to ensure no forces of the house would clash against each other. And it's at this point in history we see familiar faces, two of which here went by a different name at this point in history. So, at this time, KJ and Pixie, we'll go left to right. What name are you known by at this time?
At this time in history, what all of us know as Delilah Armstrong was Adeline Johnson, otherwise known as the Raven.
And Pixie, at this point in history, your character is well aware of who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you reintroduce yourself?
At this point in time, perhaps depending on who you're talking to, whether or not she's considered famous or potentially infamous, Sheriff Ellen was known as Kira the Cavalry Haynes.
And I apologize for having it cut off, but you two are currently stationed at an outpost known by your code names at this point, mostly Raven and Cavalry. But to you two, having served as long as you have together, you're familiar with each other's and their history, and what each of you can do and bring to the table. It is a still night. It's quiet. It's rare for a moment on a border of a nation to be quiet. And yet, in a rare moment of peace and solace, you two, during this shift, with the moon hanging high and the stars illuminating the land, only in the very far miles away distance, the brightest point would be the city of Metrol, in Sire. A capital city, beautiful and a technological wonder. But that right now is just a distant beacon of light. Some say that at some point the city of Sharn may catch up with that, but no one knows for sure. You stand on, quite literally, the precipice of a new frontier. a nation that has proven itself to be the pinnacle of all things that mortals can offer in Eberron. But beyond the hyperbole and the magistry and all of the things that you've seen and been debriefed about, right now, it's just two soldiers on patrol in a quiet camp during their shift. I would like the two of you, in this particular instance, to give me a perception check. Now, here's the twist. Your characters normally, though, at your current level in our game, what is their modifier for the perception? Because I will tell you this right now. This is a version of you.
Currently, I have a +7 normally.
Mm-hmm.
I currently have a +6.
You can both bump those up to +11
Okay.
Ooh.
at
Okay.
this time.
Interesting.
Okay. Rolling now.
This is during a time where you were the best of yourselves.
Math is hard.
That
Well, I
would be a
can't shake the real
25
life
for me.
intelligence. But
Yeah.
That would be 29.
Okay. Adeline, you'll be the first to notice a similarly uniformed, heavy-footed warforged walking its way towards the two of you. The two of you know this individual simply by one name, Brass. Ladies?
Brass.
Excuse me. Sir. I forget in this particular unit you outrank me.
Ellen will be leaning up against
Kira.
Kira. That's going to take me a minute, actually, to get that in there. Kira.
Well, at least you're not calling yourself a completely different character in the same party as you know, when we do at Chris's game.
Right. Exactly. So Kira will be leaning up against a tree with her hat sort of like dipped down and her arms are just crossed. And she just sort of tips it up and looks at Brass. Well, where the hell have you been? Took you long enough to get here.
Well, I'm sorry. These things are hard to get by. And he pulls out of his bag a long-awaited, much-needed relief of contraband, which is basically a case of the Siren Ale that has been brought in for the three of you to share, as he hands one bottle each to you.
Kira will kind of swipe it with a particular, sort of grip and be like, yeah, but I've been waiting on this for a long time.
Yeah, I know, and it's wasted on me, but it's
Well,
an
sure as
activity
hell
of
ain't wasted
camaraderie.
on me. And she just tips it up and just takes a nice big swig immediately.
Adeline will graciously and kindly take hers from Brass, kind of tip her hat and take a swig.
Brass takes a seat around this fire that has been built. Hell of a night, huh?
Not like any other. I mean, not as busy, but we'll take not busy over death, so.
No, I get that.
It is quiet, though. Oddly quiet. Can't say I'm complaining, but also
Don't
can't
say the
there's-
Q word! Come on! You'd think you'd learn this by now.
Hey, listen, I'm just saying. Not complaining, but at the same time, it's not exactly very entertaining. Usually there's more going on than this.
Okay, but
This
would
has
you
been-
rather be in death or be sitting around a campfire with a couple of drinks with some of your comrades? I'd take the latter.
I
She's got a
guess.
point. She's got a point. Good one,
Kira
too.
kind of does a flop in the dirt and just takes another swig. I mean, I suppose it's been a while. Been itching for a fight, though.
Look, you're always itching for a fight. You're the first
There's
one to
a-
go out there, and you're usually the first one to punch someone in the face if they look at you weird.
I mean, there's
You're-
a reason she's called the cavalry.
No, I get it, and
I was
trust me,
just about to say, it's not like I didn't earn that nickname for
you
a reason.
absolutely have, and you are worth every cent that our wonderful house decides to provide us for our services.
A bit exhausting, but
I wasn't going to say it because, technically
I will
you
gladly
are my...
say it.
Well,
I will
all right.
say it.
Technically,
Hey.
you two outrank me at the moment, so I ain't about to just start some
As
insult.
Right
long as
here.
I get the job done and I get paid, that's all I care about now, ain't it?
And Brass, right here along this campfire with nobody else around. While we technically outrank you, we're just comrades. I don't need no fancy title.
You know,
Yeah.
without rank, there wouldn't be no damn order.
I
Brass, I'll
understand
gladly
it
outrank
for
you any day of the week.
organization purposes, but when just chatting amongst friends, I don't need it. We're just people.
Oh, for hell's sake, Adeline, get your panties out of a bunch. You're always wound so damn tight. Drink
I
some
can't
more.
help it. Look at me. And I will take this moment to re-describe what they look like.
Yes, please.
The familiar waist-length green hair that we're all familiar with. Hat. Skin has color. She looks like a person. Just the scar that runs down across her eye glows slightly. However, her normally milk white eyes have a tinge of green to them.
So
He's wearing
lovely
a
in
simple-
comparison.
A simple uniform that she found somewhere or was given at some point. Obviously tailored a little bit to fit more comfortably and add a little bit of her charm. And a raven sitting on her shoulder.
I've been meaning to ask, where did you find that bird?
I don't know. I woke up one morning and it was just there and it follows me. It's useful. It makes
I
these
see
clicks
that.
at
I
me.
see
We've slowly built like this communication system. Apparently, certain number of clicks will mean a certain thing. Slowly learning and deciphering whatever the hell it's trying to tell me. It's
Brass,
been
it
useful though.
squawks. It
It
squawks.
clicks,
It's annoying
too.
as hell.
Well, it's
Can't
useful.
stand that
How
damn
many
bird.
times have I saved your ass because Bix here has told me where you're at and how much shit you've gotten yourself into? Don't knock the bird.
I'd like you to list me one time you saved my ass. I don't
Remember
need no
that
saving.
group of bounty hunters that were on your tail? Sure, you might have outran them.
I had it under control.
Sure you did. One of them
Had
almost
'em run
shot
a
you in the
sketch.
head.
Almost.
If I hadn't taken him out, you're lucky.
Please.
And you see that Brass is just giggling at this point, but just enjoying the fact that you're squabbling over something like this. I can't help it. It's just this whole thing has been going on for so long, and well, I don't know. You two probably ain't gonna understand where I'm coming from in terms of my perspective.
You never know, unless you say. We're friends here, Brass. We're friends.
Yeah, but you
I don't
weren't
care.
literally built for this.
No,
Yes, he
but
just
I
kind
got
of
a
shows
couple of marks that say I've been through some things that I clearly don't remember. Yes, we weren't built for war, and we understand that. But after this whole war is over, you get to pick your life. You get to choose what you get to do. Maybe it'll still be a man for hire. I don't know, maybe you'll be a sheriff of some kind of town one day. Who knows? You get to choose.
Sheriff of a town?
I think he'd be a damn good one.
Sure. Sheriff of a town. Frankly, this
Adeline
war ever
will,
does come to an end.
Adeline, as you rest up against, Adeline will just hit your arm to make you adjust a little bit.
If I ever... I'm nice to Brass all the time. Ain't I, Brass?
You're snarky. Snarky ain't nice.
Out of respect for my own
him.
safety, I refuse to answer under the fall of a, comrade.
I, for one, will be doing the exact same goddamn thing I'm doing today. Taking names and getting paid.
Get killed in the process, because I ain't sticking around to save your ass after this.
Ain't nobody killed me yet.
Yet is the word. I
wouldn't be called the cavalry if I was killable.
You're the cavalry because you come in when other folks need help, but I always have to come save your ass afterwards. You're only the cavalry for about 30 seconds before I have to come and help.
So I guess that makes you the cavalry of the cavalry.
Don't think too hard about it.
She don't need that.
I don't need it. I don't need it.
She's wound tight enough as is.
I'm sorry if I've got anxiety and don't like war. There's people dying every second.
Why the hell are you here? Please.
I need the money.
You're in the wrong damn profession. I've done told you this 1,000 times.
I have skills and I gotta use them. I tried making money other ways and tried to stay out of this goddamn war, but here I am. I need coin. That's the only reason I'm here.
And that's all that matters, ain't it?
To you.
You sit there and bellyache about how you ain't got the spine for this. It turns your stomach, but you're here for the money. That's all anybody ever needs to know about you.
I
at least am honest about that.
Well. Hey,
I got humanity in me. You have no empathy.
Before we start getting all, odds and ends at each other. The thing is, you done bring up a point that I reckon I've been hearing more and more get brought up, especially by, well, I ain't one to tell tales out of school, but I've been hearing some folks saying that it ain't right what we're doing. Now, the thing is, I know that we're protecting folk. There's honor in that, and I don't mind it. But the house, they put us in places where we ain't gonna be at odds with each other. But what's to say that somebody decides to hire us the next day and fight the very people that we had to protect the day before? I know it ain't happened yet, but it's been a long 100 years. Odds ain't so much in our favor at this point.
Brass, what in the nine hells are you even bothering thinking about all that for?
Because it's part of it's part of being human, and whether he's a warforged or not, he's got some of our tendencies. And for you, it's all about the coin. I can respect that. Someone who's straightforward to the point, fine. But some of us actually care about those we're protecting. It's not just for the coin. It's for dignity and justice and humanity and helping out for something bigger than ourselves.
All of that's perfectly grand. But at the end of the day, they pay us all to do a job. He's over here wondering if we're getting cross lines. He's acting like we've had friendly fire. It ain't even happened. They do a good job of keeping all that shit. Oh, Cope, please. There's people up top for that.
What would happen if you and I got pitted against each other? Would you kill me?
Depends. How much am I getting paid?
It's a serious answer.
Delilah, come on. Adeline. Did it again.
Kira, if it was down to it, and we were somehow on opposite sides of this war, would you kill me? Just for some coin? After everything we've been through and how many times I've saved your goddamn life, would you kill me for some coin?
No, come on. Now your panties are in a tighter twist than they've ever been.
This is the point the brass brought up. We could be on opposite sides. We could be at odds with each other.
How
do you know?
It was a thought experiment that, I regret bringing up. I didn't listen. It's just sometimes, you think about how many different variables there've been in so many different things that have been happening over the century of fighting that this whole damn world has gone through. And here we are just kind of hoping for the best. But I don't know. It's, obviously people look at me and they think I'm just got nothing up here, no feeling of anything, and just serving to whoever does, and point me in the direction that they, point me in, and kill whoever it is that they have to kill. Thing is, I know when I was created that like you said, Adeline, I got a choice. I made my choice. Made my choice to stay. Because, well, I hope it was my choice, and not just something they built into my head to make me think that way.
You wanted to help, Brass, and that's admirable.
But the thing is, we all swore an oath. We know that. Protect those who can't protect themselves. And never cross the line of the law of the land. But the law of the land ain't the same all over. And what if someone does take the law up into their own hands because they think it's the right thing to do? Or they think that what we're doing is the wrong thing.
As long as we're following the law, they can think anything they like.
This is exactly why I stay out of politics, you two.
Well, you'd be terrible at them anyways.
I don't know. I mean, you both got your flaws and you both got your, your expertises. But that's what makes you, you. And right now we got, a whole 5 full nations of people at odds with each other, thinking that they're the ones who are in the right. It's just strange to think about, what happens, how many times and how many combinations you can put folk together and separate them and hope to see what lasts.
I don't really think anybody's ever completely right or wrong. Everyone has their own reason for what they do, whether selfish or not.
Exactly.
But they think,
so why are we questioning any of this?
They think they're doing right. Whether other people think that or not is a different question. So, while other people could think what we do is wrong, as long as we're doing what we're doing, protecting people with the right intent, I think there's no problem with it.
Well, we're blade marks. That's what we know. Best it is at what we do. And what we do sometimes ain't so nice. But
someone's got to do it.
Exactly.
And keep it simple. Keep it simple, Brass. Just do your job.
That's all I'm trying to do. But all I'm saying is just y'all mind if we just maybe get away from possible ears that may be floating around?
You just asked me to get up. I've been sitting down for like 15 minutes now. It's
You
cozy.
wanna, Brass, are you wanting to sneak out to have a private conversation outside of authorities?
It
'Cause
would
if that's
be
the case-
ill-advised for me to say yes or no.
I could use a little excitement for a night. You were just complaining you were bored. You can't say no now. You were just
Yeah.
complaining you were bored.
This smells like politics, but fine, I'll go.
I'm sure it's fine. It'll be exciting.
I need
You
the
say
two
so.
of you to give me survival. Now, what is your normal survival check?
+4.
+6.
You may make it +10.
26.
One more. Wait, math.
It's hard.
Just
13.
you got
Oh,
a
no.
3. Okay.
13. 13.
Yeah, you got a. You rolled a 3.
Yeah.
You rolled
and
a
you had
3.
Yes, I rolled
Yeah.
a 3. I rolled a 3.
Okay. Well, your reluctance to bother with all of this kind of sidestepping has had you drag behind a little bit, Adeline. That you notice though that Kira is begrudgingly coming along.
Come on, don't throw a fit.
I'm coming, aren't I? As she sort of like drags her feet and keeps taking swigs.
You gotta not leave a trail. Come on, cover your steps. We've done this before. You're a goddamn agent, man. Do your job like you know how to.
My job is killing whoever gets in my way. If they find me, they find me. I'll shoot them just
You've
the same.
done incognito work before. Cover your tracks.
Boring as hell. Anyway, fine. And she just starts
useful.
brushing where she's been.
And eventually, you get yourself a good distance from camp, noticing that at least everything has been under control. Everything's still in sight should anything arise that feels like it would be dangerous. But you see, give me both of you, and again, whatever it is, it's just 10 now. Is all your checks are +10, just so we can make it simple. This is going to be insight at Brass.
Ooh, natural 20 for a 30. It's
Wait,
plus
oh,
10.
wait.
It's plus 10.
Just +10.
14.
There we go.
I was adding, yeah, I should have done it that way. I should just ignore the modifier altogether.
Just add 10.
Ignore the modifier. Just add 10.
Just whatever you're rolling.
I was adding the
adding
difference, and I was like, wait.
No. No need to do extra math.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Kira, you're still kind of just begrudgingly, going along with this, not really paying much attention. But Adeline, you can tell, despite Brass having no facial features to speak of that can show expression, his body language is telling it all. He's nervous about something. As a wonderful guard dog.
Brass, you got something you want to share with us? You're nervous. That doesn't happen often. It's hard to read you. And I'm reading you.
It's somewhat of an advantage on my end. But, look, I trust you too.
I hope so.
And I've been hearing things. Whispers and rumors and impolite talk in regards to certain outspoken, high-ranking officials in our own house.
Like who?
And you would know that when he says outspoken, the first thought that comes to your mind is a general that goes by the name of Addison. General Addison is one of the higher-ranking house agents of this martial group, but they have been also begrudgingly following orders, much like you have had this kind of vibe, Kira, but they have been more outspoken due to the fact that they don't believe in following any orders of a house that would have them fight his own people, as he is from Sire. And a bit of a known commodity for Sire. A brilliant military strategist that was brought in to this house under the guise, it seems, that they would be an advantage for when any Siren troops were to hire this house. But he's feeling that perhaps now there is a growing conflict of interest. And the rhetoric that has been going around from General Addison has not been silent at all in the last several months. Brass kind of shuffles himself. Addison has been, seems like he's been doing some recruiting internally.
For
Internally?
What would he need recruits for?
Well, apparently he don't like that we're doing this at all. This job in particular was one that I overheard. I wasn't supposed to, but I overheard a discussion between our house sentinel, Indira, and General Edison, and it wasn't polite, and it was very tense, and he damn near started a coup right there.
I wouldn't think too much of that. That's just some searing pride. We all got that. I got that just as much as the next.
I don't know. I'd be careful with Addison. He tends to be
He's blowing a bunch of smoke.
He tends to be mostly bark, but he does have some serious bite if you get on his bad side. And
well, that's the problem. He's starting to get paranoid that people are getting on his bad side. But I don't know if he's all that wrong, to be honest. You know how most of the folk from around here are from Carnith. And Carnith ain't no one to mess with, apparently, because they're guaranteeing that people will underestimate them.
That could just be pride talking. And you know that. Most people, especially in politics, tend to be mostly bark, no bite.
A lot of times why I partly don't get involved with it. They're not strong enough. But having worked, alongside the Carnathi and Daneth for years now, I mean, there's some tough sons of bitches.
And you ever notice that they never put anyone from Sire and anyone from Carnith in the same group?
Well, they don't want us to get intermingled that much, like it could be bad. Us fighting them, it's what we were talking about earlier. They want to avoid that stuff.
I don't think Addison wants to avoid it anymore.
Well, Addison's got an attitude that most of us don't like dealing with.
He sees you say that, and he kind of steps back, knowing that, much like Kira has said, people from Sire, much like she has just alluded to, are incredibly proud of their nationality. And I would say, Kira, is this something that you agree with as a member of this nation? Or is this something you're just kind of going along with in the moment of conversation?
I would say this is something Kira's kind of going along with. She tries, while she has a certain amount of national pride, and like anyone from an upbringing like hers is going to, given Sire's technological pursuits and the way their culture works, she naturally has a bit of flair and bravado, but for the most part, she's also one to bark a lot herself. And so she's not taking any of this super seriously, as she thinks this is, to a degree, some normal bravado out of Addison that she would find common in culture.
Adeline, I would like you to roll insight against Kira. Kira, you may roll deception or persuasion, but just don't tell us what you rolled.
Okay.
Remember, you're adding plus 10.
25.
$16.
So as you are hearing all these things and reacting the way you are, Kira, about Brass, Adeline, you are reading what Haynes is projecting. Kira, what would you say is... how much of it do you believe versus how much of it is your body language stating right now? Because whatever it is, Adeline can tell.
Kira looks a little stiffer. She's walking a little bit straighter. You've noticed that her shoulders are she keeps kind of flexing them a little bit, but coming out of her mouth is the same tone you feel like she usually uses, but you can tell that she's forcing it right now.
Adeline will clock it. Kind of as Kira and Brass are talking, anything that might seem offensive or whatever, Adeline will just give Brass a look like she doesn't mean what she's saying. It's all forced.
Brass takes a moment to just kind of adjust his uniform and his weaponry, shifting uncomfortably. All right, let's head back. Might as well. Gotta.
One last thing before we do head back. Why bring up Addison and what's going on?
Because we don't know where he is.
He's missing?
Missing like how and for how long?
From what I understand, what I overheard, General Addison has been MIA for the past 3 weeks.
3 whole goddamn weeks?
No communication. And his unit he was ordering has not been seen since he took charge.
And nobody's told us foot soldiers? No one's alerted? Higher-ups clearly know, when no one's told the rest of us? No preparation, no head time, no nothing? God damn. And they expect us to be able to do our job. They're basically traitors. I mean, I don't know if they've done anything, but like just abandonment.
Let's be careful now.
Just abandoning everyone else? No word? No nothing? With his attitude?
There's got to be
Now-
a good reason.
It's true. There may be some undisclosed information that we may not be privy to.
Well, until I figure it out,
It could just chalk it
Essence
up to
done.
coincidence, as far as
I don't trust it. Coincidences. There's no such thing as a coincidence in my life. Nothing ever is. There's always some cause, something behind it.
No, there's got to be a good. There has to be a good reason. You got to calm down.
Addison has a
Something's going
history. If he's
He
really
wouldn't-
taken, if he's taken troops, and he hasn't reported, and nobody's seen him for 3 weeks, he could have done literally anything. All I'm saying is we need to be cautious. We need to be even more alert than we normally are. Because we don't know. With his attitude and the things he complains about.
All right, you made your damn point.
Keep down. We're still technically almost in the same boat as them if we don't get back in time.
Fine. I just have a hard time believing that. Surely he would know. He can't put us at risk like that.
He might.
Nah,
I
there can't-
wouldn't be surprised. I'll be 100% honest.
think of what's
I never
at
trusted
stake.
the man. A lot is at stake.
The house.
Whether he's with us or he isn't with us. So
Entire
many
nation.
lives, including our own, are in trouble, in jeopardy. Can't you see that? I'd rather one man fall and a little bit of shame be on our goddamn house's name that can be wiped away in 10 years than for the entire structure of our community and the people we trust collapse.
As the three of you walk back to the site, it is still quiet. It is still quiet. It is still the same peaceful night that it was when it started. However, that peace may not be the same internally. And the three of you each basically take triangular position around this campfire, awaiting for the next shift change. And the lingering thoughts in your head of what the information that was just revealed to the two of you as it circulates. Just before you're able to get the nerve to maybe talk again about this, you hear the sudden footsteps of a soldier, it seems, running from the garrison. Just hear the Commander Johnson, Commander Haynes, sorry. My name is Private Evermore.
What's wrong? What's going on?
There's something going down at the border. We need your help.
I knew it was too
Adeline's
damn
up.
quiet.
Adeline's up and moving, getting her horse saddled up to get going.
As you saddle up, and you see this young siren soldier, not affiliated with your house, but he knows of you, being in command at this post. He can't be more than 18, 19 years old. He is shocked, just ghostly, frail, and sweating. And Brass pulls him aside and tells him, "You two, I'll take care of this one. Do you need me to alert anyone else? Or are you going incognito on this?"
I'll go incognito first. If I need help, you'll see bits. And that means you better send all the goddamn troops we've got.
Kira, you ain't. Adeline, you're
You're
not taking off
you're
on your
coming
own.
with
I'm
me.
coming with you.
I
Oh,
know.
good. Well, usually you assume I ain't, so. But
I'm
yeah,
not gonna.
Brass.
If something's going
what
down
sh-
at the border, I'm gonna need a
We'll
butt.
go take a look. But yes, Brass, what she just said. We'll do it Adeline's way first and try to do it incognito.
If you see bits, send help. Just
Yes,
follow
ma'am.
the raven.
And as you two ride to the border, we're going to take a break. And we'll be back with the second part of this flashback story.
Oh boy.
Stay tuned. And welcome back. First off, thank you everybody for watching for this particular episode. We will be back next Sunday with once again the full party in its glory assembled for our next story arc as they are going to be journeying, through the Endworld Mountains to find one soon to be in this timeline, Delilah Armstrong,
I'm
who
sure
is
it's
being
fine.
held at the hands of a vampiric bandit that I cannot wait to introduce to you all.
I've got it handled.
Yeah,
what do you
of
mean?
course, of
I'm gonna come
course.
get you.
What could possibly go wrong?
I'm coming for you. My feelings have
Absolutely.
changed drastically.
The only thing that could go wrong is I become a vampire, and I only see that as a positive.
Well, you, KJ, see that as a positive.
I'm already undead.
That's true. That's true.
What's a little more undead?
What's
All
a
I
little bit
get is
more
some
undead?
thanks.
So, when last we left off, you two were riding to the Siren border, having heard from a young soldier that something was going down, and they were in need of your help. So, as the two of you ride, I need the both of you to actually give me. Let's call this. Well, you're rolling 10 anyway, plus 10 to it anyway. So I'm trying to figure out what skill would this necessitate. Let's call it wisdom. Yeah, let's go with wisdom.
Okay.
So this is more insight into the situation. Okay, so
Ooh, not great. 17.
It's a wisdom check, right? Not a.
yeah.
Okay.
You're adding plus 10 anyways.
Yeah, so
It's the same thing.
yeah,
15.
15. Okay.
Cool. Neither
I
are
just wanted to
great.
make sure it wasn't a saving throw roll instead of a check.
Yeah. So based on this
Because it
entire
sometimes.
philosophical discussion that has just gone on, and you are riding towards seeming danger, what is the immediate first thought on your mind, Adeline?
With the conversation that they just had, her immediate worry is that because Addison has had 3 weeks, that he's trying to pull something, or that they're going to find people rising up in rebellion against somebody. Just really, first worry is Addison is up to something.
Kira. We're going to do this. We're going to have an interesting moment here. What are you thinking about currently?
Kira is starting to feel, which she doesn't feel very often, or hasn't felt very often in a long time, but a level of anxious. Normally, she's excited to run towards conflict. She relishes her work, but the insight that there could be, especially with her hate for politics, conflict that is directly coming from home is sort of gut churning for her, and she'll try very hard to hide that, but she's anxious that there's something brewing from home that she will not, in all the other ways that she will not be able to ignore.
I'm going to message you a question.
Oh, I hate that. I don't like that.
Well, it's totally
me.
fair for Michael, because I never told Michael that I had this kind of idea for her. So
Never trust a sneaky DM. That's all I'm saying.
I am very fair in all of my sneakiness.
Fair, yes, but sneaky nonetheless. I've been behind some of the sneaky
Yes,
that's
it's
happened.
true. It's true.
I never trust the sneaky DM.
So,
sneak.
earlier you were very truthfully convincing to your cohort here about your belief in this whole ordeal and how work is meant to be work. No matter what people say, no matter what ideological instances come about, no matter what someone 4 weeks ago may have offered you before you went onto this job.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And as you
Give me conflict. Give me conflict.
as you think about
Mm-mm.
the information that Brass was talking about and overhearing, wishing that he never did and had never said anything,
Mm-hmm.
the two of you arrive and see at the border, there, standing, full armored regalia, General Garrett Addison, wearing a torn piece of the flag of his house, your collective house, as a symbol of dissension. And amongst him, 50 other uniformed individuals, all with the torn piece of the banner of House Deneath. Not only is that a sign of the ultimate insubordination, but this, as paladins, the two of you know, is a breaking of the oath, of which there is no turning back. This will be stealth right now. So just, do you know your normal stealth number? Because if it's not 10, it will be higher.
5.
Mine's 4.
Considering your, I'm going to say that we'll add 1 in front of it, so it's respectively Adeline 15, Kira 14. So that is what you're adding to your d20 right now as you quietly dismount.
The
15,
dice
you
want
said?
to tell a story. That's a natural 1. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you, Kira?
You said add 15, right?
I think yours
14
was 14
for you.
I believe. Yeah.
4. Okay. 14, so 20.
I mean, it's a 16 by technicality.
A nat 1 is a nat 1, my friend.
I know. I know.
And Kira, you witness as the two of you hunker down just as you're about to give an idea of where you should go. You see Adeline get snatched and caught by a soldier that just got into your line of sight before you could say anything. Doesn't see you, though. Adeline, you are taken hand over mouth, fully, pulled back. You know in this kind of situation it is terrible to fight in someone who has you essentially exactly where they could need to position you in order to instantly kill you if they needed to. But you, Kira, see Adeline get dragged to this collective of soldiers that you once called allies, you once called compatriots, and once maybe even called friends. And Adeline, you are being dragged into the center and you are thrown down. And you see there, standing now above you, General Garrett Addison.
Adeline immediately gets back to her feet and is just staring, maintaining eye contact.
He stares back. Soldier, I will let you know that what my overzealous second in command decided to do just then will not be tolerated. I know who you are and I know what you're capable of. And I will not force my will against a fellow soldier I respect. But why were you trying to hide from us?
All we got was this scared little boy asking for help that there was trouble by the border. Knowing my reputation, I always go in quiet before I make myself known. Scout your circumstances before you make a sound.
And that's why I know that you are a well-trained individual.
Adeline would have said all of that just loud enough that Kira could hear.
I'm gonna roll something real quick. It's just my favorite thing to make KJ feel nervous.
You were doing it while writing stuff earlier on your live,
Yeah.
too. I hate when the DM rolls and doesn't say what it's for.
Okay. He acknowledges it. He doesn't drift his eyes away from you. He's watching you. Commander Raven, you know where we're all from. You know where I'm from. And you know right now that I am home.
What of it?
What did our house tell you about you?
I ain't been told nothing about me. All I know about me is what I remember, which frankly ain't much.
But if they did tell you anything, would you believe them?
Depends on the person, frankly.
What if it was our sentinel marshal? What if it was the leader of our house? Would you believe them?
Depends on how outrageous or convincing what they say is. I know I've been through some interesting things, gesturing to the scar. But I'm also in an interesting line of work.
You know why they call us blade marks? It's because each of us have earned the scars on our bodies. They are the marks of warriors. They are the marks of defenders. They are the marks of those who are willing to defend those who cannot defend themselves.
I know this. What are you getting at?
Why are we trying to defend anyone but our own right now?
I don't know who my own are, sir. So right now, for me, I'm doing what I believe is right for the circumstances and the job so that I can get paid so I can live my life after whatever amount of time this war is going to take. I understand where you're coming from. But if you're in a fight against your own house, against the people who fought alongside you,
Not
it's war.
my house. Commander, I will tell you this right now. Whatever they have fed you, whatever it is that you choose to believe, it ain't right. And it's a lie. And I will tell you this right now, if it weren't for the fact that I respect and know and understand your reputation, it would be unfair of me to lie to you in any respect. So I will lay my cards on the table right now, and I will let you know. I will not kill you despite where you come from.
Where do you believe I come from then? What do you think I've done that I don't know myself?
It's not what I believe about. It's about what I know and what they have
Then
withheld
what
from
do
you.
you know? Speak clearly, not in riddles.
Commander, I will still have you understand that I am still a general, and you are surrounded. So I would be mindful of that before any tone changes.
As long as my hands don't go to my weapons, you have no real cause to harm me. I will keep civil. My tone may be harsh, but I will not draw a weapon unless you give me a reason.
I have come to information concerning folk like you and others within our own house that I feel has been a betrayal by our very sentinel leader. You have been lied to. Your
I get
entire
lied to a
time
lot.
that you are aware of your existence, you have been lied to. You are not simply a soldier that was found and recruited.
I have skills. I had them before I knew who I was.
Well,
Maybe they knew of
sad
me
to
before
say,
I did.
I'm sad to say that they did know who you were before you became what you are, and what you were was what we now consider our enemy. You are from Karnath, and you were brought in when you were well, my particular faith don't allow me to be so unkindly with my words.
Speak freely. I'd rather
Are
you
you
be
aware of
honest.
the spell that can alter the mind's memories?
I've heard of it.
Modify them to the necessary needs of the caster. Yes, you are aware of it, I'm sure. You understand though that those who get that cast upon them are unaware that it ever was.
I've been through training for these kind of very reasons. There's a reason we are taught to restrain and cuff. Can't use their hands, can't cast very much magic.
Why do you think that you were trained as hard as you were to recognize that?
To keep it from
Perhaps.
happening.
Or to understand how it could have already happened to you. All I'm saying is you are not alone. And the ones that they have brought in from Karnath have been no mistake. Long before this war ever happened, there was a fight amongst the houses. And one of those houses ain't around any longer. And guess what they did? Guess what ours decided to do? Snatch up the best of the best, as it were. And make them believe that they were just lucky enough to get brought in by someone willing to give them a chance to survive. You've been manipulated. And you were programmed to fight.
I ain't no
Against
robot.
my
I ain't no
people.
warforged.
I know. That's what I'm trying to help you with. I'm trying to make you understand. Kira, at this point, I need you to do another stealth check. And with the intent of approach.
Okay. That would be an 11.
As you overhear this, it does give your approach away. Do you attempt to hide this, or are you now in confrontation mode?
Kira will have been listening, and as she's been hearing Addison start to say all of these things to Adeline that she was really hoping her and Adeline would never have to discuss. She bursts from her hiding place and just calls out with both of her hands up, Addison, Addison, listen to me. I know we didn't have the best of conversations several weeks ago,
Excuse me?
but you gotta let her go.
Well,
Conversation? What?
seems the
Adeline,
cavalry
not
has
right now.
arrived.
Now seems like the perfect time. What are you not telling me, Kira?
Adeline, not now.
Now is the time.
Addison,
Haynes, are you part of this too now?
let her come to me.
No. Hold on now.
You didn't
All
tell
of you
me you were
stand down.
taking
Everyone
off.
stand down. Everyone stand the
You
hell
knew?
down.
Haynes, you knew,
Not like this.
but you knew,
was-
and you didn't
He
say
was he was rambling nonsense. Conspiracy theories.
I was speaking
All
the
nonsense
goddamn
has-
truth. You
all
have
nonsense
been
has
part of
truth
this
to it.
problem. You have been part of it since day one, Haynes. I don't care how many times you tried to tell me that I was crazy. You look me in the eye every day since that day and have the nerve to tell me that one of your own kind, one of your kin, someone that you grew up with and I helped bring you into this house, the house that decided to just be a house of lies. And you still want to fight for this.
I am a neutral party, and you know that.
And that
You
is your goddamn
Are trying to
problem.
tear us apart, Addison.
I'm trying to bring
You're
us all together.
spat hate speech.
I am trying to bring us together by revealing the truth. That's what I'm trying to do.
Then what's
What
the
you're
goddamn
saying is
truth?
dangerous.
Somebody speak something that makes sense. What's the goddamn truth?
The truth is, you ain't Adeline Johnson, and you never been. The truth is that all those others who have them deep scars on their heads, you think that's just a coincidence? You think that the ones who resemble you and your tastes and your culture, stuff that you, no matter how much you try and change a person's mind, will always be embedded in there. Because it ain't part of just their mind, it's part of their very soul about who makes them what they are.
If I'm not the only thing that I've known myself to be, then who am I?
You're the best killer that ever existed in the last 50 years.
Give me a goddamn name.
If I knew your name, I would have been calling you that, and I would have had you on my side. But that's just one more thing that they hide from, and hell, she's probably hiding it from you too.
Are you hiding more from me? More than just this conversation with him you've had?
Addison, why are you kicking up all this mess?
Because we need to stop this. These houses are going to kill us all if we don't stop them. And I will not be stopped by traitors like
Don't you
you, Haynes.
Call her a traitor.
To my damn face. I ain't had you bring me one shred of proof. I asked you to. You declined. Hearsay, your own notions, all of your own thoughts stringing together all this shit that you claim is true. But you won't give it to me straight. And now you want to be this ultimate patriot that wants to just leave. Look what you've done to your house symbol. You're trying to start a damn even our own people. What do you think is going to happen to us? They're not all going to agree with you. you can't get all of Sire on your side.
You don't know what I'm capable of.
DM question.
Yes.
Can I roll insight on myself?
Yes, you may. With advantage.
Well then.
Still plus 10?
Mm-hmm.
Dirty 20.
Something in you. Every time you start to get more emotional about it, the scars almost become feeling more like fresh wounds. And even though they're signs of laceration and they are signs of being fixed together, you feel something more alive within you the more he speaks about this past, this burning sensation in your head of just memories fighting to move forward, things that you feel are in your mind trying to push forward and just get to the front, but are being blocked by something. And you can't tell why, and you try as hard as you can to concentrate on whatever it is that feeling is to kind of get it to open up, but it just only makes your muscles tension build and your jaw clench, and you can feel it all the way in like a pressure building up.
You want to prove what you're saying? You got anyone who can help remember? Help me remember?
Yeah,
There's-
but
There's something.
you're not gonna like it, and
I
it's
don't-
not gonna be pretty, and it's gonna hurt.
What can be worse than a goddamn war? I've seen not pretty.
Be something you're gonna find out right now. He raises his hand carefully, and you can see the arcane energy building around as he casts a greater restoration spell on you and just places a fingertip right at the temple of your head on the right side. And your eyes just flutter back for a moment, and you wake up and you know the name that you are. And you see every face of every person you have ever gunned down flash before you in rapid, sudden succession. And it's more than 50 years worth. It is almost ancient in its feeling. And it's not even in a fashion that is like a soldier. It's beyond even what a mercenary would do. You were a killer. And you were an acolyte, fulfilling the orders of a house whose name has not been uttered in centuries. And as that floods all to the forefront of your mind, you feel the immense amount of pressure as if someone has just taken a boulder and cracked it across your head. And you see, Kira, as Adeline rages out in a primal scream as the sudden influx of memory and history of a former member of House Vol stand in front of you her veins blackening, her eyes darkening, her skin almost drying up, losing color. The lifelessness of this illusion of who Adeline Johnson was supposed to be fading away in front of you. It's the most dangerous thing you thought could have happened, and now you're all bearing witness to it.
You watch her drop her hat, and hands are balled in fists as she's lightly shaking, staring at the ground with this pained expression of anger.
Kira,
Ellen will.
Kira,
or
real quick
Kira
though,
will.
I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
Something else unexpected happens, though. As you watch this necrotic energy begin to escape from whomever this is now. And I need you to do a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no.
Oh boy. Plus 10 to that as well, right?
Nope.
Oh.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
18.
And now, Miss Armstrong,
Uh-huh.
you are essentially going to make a spell attack. At advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 15.
Okay. That's a 31.
I will add in, just for flavor's sake, while this little flash of tension's happening, that Kira would have as she watched someone that she thought she knew and didn't want to believe Addison about changes before her eyes, and she is proven wrong. She immediately reaches for her crossbow, and you just see a look of horror and shock go across Kira's face.
I would say, if you can let me add flavor, if I'm attacking anyway, even if it's the necrotic whatever that happens, as soon as Delilah sees her grab her crossbow, the whip at her hip flashes forward to disarm.
And I will say that based on what you rolled, allow me to paint a word picture of this horrifying scene.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As the lifelessness, the very life has drained from your body, and you are no longer a vessel for the personality that was molded onto you. You are the huntress of House Vol in this moment. You are the weapon of death. You are their reaper. Come back. As tendrils of shadow and smoke escape from the very ground beneath you, as if the very host of all of the time that has passed and the souls that you have taken to depart through those gates to other planes, wherever they may end up being, are attacking in defense of you to the other soldiers that have surrounded you, to General Addison, right through his very body, knocking him back 60 feet into this huge tree trunk, smashing him against it and knocking him out instantly. The only reason, Kira, that you are standing at this point is because you have instinctively braced yourself for this seemingly inevitable moment. And it is the only thing that is keeping you active at this point. The whip that escapes from Delilah Armstrong's hand. It's not even a whip at this point. It's practically like an extension of her own arm. As it just like a dead wood vine of just ash and cinder wrapping around your hand, and you see your hand almost become devoid of life in that moment as it wraps into it, and you're only able to just shake it off enough because you are able to let go of the crossbow before it can extend any further into you. You watch the crossbow obliterate under the grasp of the end of this like venom-like tentacle that has just wrapped itself around your weapon, and you don't see whoever it was that you were supposed to be working with. This is something beyond your understanding. It's then that, as if some moments of coincidence and some moments of history and moments where, as if anything couldn't get worse, the flash of white arcane light around the border of this former great nation envelops all of you, and you brace yourself for the impact of what you feel like is going to be some sort of explosion or wave of pain and exhaustion, but instead you are just frozen in time in that moment. And you connect eyes to eyes. I need the two of you now to roll a D100 each, as the percentage is going to determine who falls first.
$46.
39.
And by fate's grand design, this white light of magical energy that knocks both of you back, Kira, you're able to at least stand enough to hold your crossbow, now this glowing, energy-filled weapon, at the head of a fallen former comrade. And in that window of clarity, Delilah, you are yourself, at least with everything you've experienced then and up until this point, as the person you believed yourself to be, looking up at a former cohort. What do you say before everything goes to black?
There's a smug look, almost as if recalling back to their earlier conversation when she asked, "If it came down to it, would you shoot me?" And she just laughs a little bit and says, "Now's your chance," and closes her eyes, bracing.
Kira takes a really deep breath. I didn't lie to you, Adeline.
It ain't my
I would
name.
never kill you for money. but I do on a daily basis. Get paid to wipe evil like you off of this planet.
You don't know what I've had to go through. Don't call me evil till you've walked in my shoes.
And as you pull the trigger, it is the last moment you share between the two of you. Until some time from now, when paths cross, and only a sense of déjà vu comes across the two of you. It is a strange thing to those who have been able to describe what it was to survive what would come to be known as the Day of Mourning. When a powerful burst of arcane energy enveloped the former nation of Sire, and now has become known as the Mournlands. For what is left, there is nothing but the memories of those to mourn over. Delilah, you wake up for the first time, and you don't know how long, though, it's been. But this is the first time you've ever been buried. Granted, it wasn't on purpose, and it wasn't by anyone else's hands, but 3/4 of you being in the dirt, with only enough of you able to climb out, as wicked and wild winds surround you in a veil of a mile-high gray wall mist just out of reach in front of you. What do you do?
I think, given the circumstances and how little she's able to recall of what has happened, this fleeting memory of building a cabin in a forest near a cliff with a waterfall flashes through her mind. Not sure where it is or how to get there. She just kind of stares at the wall for a second, turns, and starts leaving.
Adeline Johnson, a former marshal, literally left behind in the dust, and emerging from the Mournlands, a reborn Delilah Armstrong, whose path at this point is uncertain, but whose future lies in a house she doesn't even remember. Kira Haynes walked away.
Cat.
Because there was a cat.
Because there was a cat.
Because of course, right now is the time he decides to bang on the door, which he does at least once per game.
Kira Haynes is also no more. But you do know that something happened. Something terrible. Something... Aw.
Okay. This is
I've been
about as
attacked
much
by
as
a
you're allowed.
dog. She's getting attacked
We've all had
by a
animals
cat.
attack.
Go get on the dog.
You are wearing the clothes of a soldier. Maybe you were one. You kind of reach around through pockets and there's nothing on you. No weapons, no money, no papers that would have orders on them, no map, no items of any personal belonging, just you. And at your feet, a whip. Which you feel instinctively the need to hold on to. You begin to walk. And you walk through this smoke-filled desert. This desolate area of land. And you can sense that there is some untamed wild magic surrounding you that you know, somehow, instinctively, you know you need to leave and escape. She's method acting. No, it's okay. It's okay. Moments like that are fun to break tension to.
He will ruin. He is the loudest animal I have.
No,
Surprisingly.
it's okay. It's okay. So you, with hand in front to stop the dust from getting into any eyes or even the air you breathe, you pass through that mist wall, that gray mile-high mist wall that you swear just before you pass through, you could see the shadows of faces outlining them. But you brace through it, you pass through, and you think, there's got to be something better. There's got to be something better on the other side. There has to be. It can't be this bad. And you see a town. Or is it a town, or is it some sort of makeshift camp, or... No, that looks like a barracks. How would I know that? As you keep walking forward, you see the torn down flag of some name of a coat of arms, it looks like, but it's a lion's head and a ram's head and a dragon's head with a fist of steel holding a blade above them all. The letters skewed on the bottom, but you see, draped in the uniforms, not unlike your own, but more just defined, several dozens, no, more soldiers, fallen at this point. And yet all of them feel like statues, frozen in time at the last thing that they looked like they were ever going to do, fighting. And then one small shining piece, the only whole symbol, it seems, in the hands of... I know this face, but I don't know why. You hold on to it. Instinctively hold it to your chest. As you walk, you keep walking. You have no idea where you're going to end up. But you do see a caravan eventually, a small group of people that seem to be getting away from this hellscape. They flag you down. Miss, excuse, are you, can you help us? Or do you need help? What? It's a elder dwarven man, just gray, hairless, but just like long gray braided beard, and he's got it seems a family with him as well, just two other smaller children and his wife with him, and they're like kind of like this dust occasionally like swirling around. They're just trying to keep cover, and the individual he comes, ma'am, do you need help? Are you able to help us perhaps? Who are you? You're not going to fight us, are you? Please.
Uh, uh, no. I, I'm sorry. I don't know you. I wouldn't fight you. Where are we?
Well, we're at Sire, the border. Well,
Sire?
I mean, come here. And his wife comes up and she reaches a blanket to help you out. And as they're speaking to you, holding that badge in your hands, this 6-pointed star with the symbol of the dragon of Eberron on it. You don't know why this is familiar to you. As you hold on to it, you see a simple name. A name that you'll carry with you. And a name that you will eventually go by as you know no other. Kiera Haynes was left behind. And a woman who eventually will just simply be known as Ellen will come into her own. All the while, two forces, having fought side by side, will once again do so. Whether they remember this time or not, time will tell. But inevitably, darkness in all people eventually gets brought to light. And that is where our third and final story of what's past as prologue shall end.
Am I the bad guy?
I think maybe.
I thought it was fucking. Oh my god!
Who's to
My
say,
god!
out of all of this, who was truly evil? Thanks again, everyone, for watching. Also, thank you to the raid party that we had flood in.
I saw that.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Timbo the Wizard raiding with a party of 10. Thank you so much. We got all the follows that we got from this one. Thank you, Timbo.
We have heard whispers of a certain werewolf eventually coming up in a game. We don't know yet.
Yeah. You never know when that could happen.
Stay
Thank you so
tuned.
much. So we will have the full party back with us this next Sunday. Be
Nice.
there.
Oh.
The full party in search of
Yeah.
Delilah, of course.
I'll still be there. She's not
We'll still
this
be
character.
there in spirit.
Spirit.
And hello, Lady Donegan. Yes, I know you folk. Yes, it's so great. Thank you so much. And appreciate everybody for watching. Be sure, of course, to tune in to all of our streams. We do streams, D&D games on Tuesdays, on Wednesdays, and on Fridays. And, of course, this one on Sundays. And when we're not doing those, We also occasionally do a show we call TBD Talks, where casts of
happening
all the
next
shows. I think it will. I think it will happen
think
this
so.
week. Yeah, we
Yeah.
we should definitely do at least one talking about surprises that happen during campaigns and revelations that GMs love to pull on its unsuspecting players. And of course, I will be there in Hawaiian shirt. So thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you KJ, and thank you Itsy Bitsy Pixie. Tell us, of course, where they can find you online should you want to be found. But I believe that with our names being listed, it's kind of obvious.
Right there, TikTok handle.
Right
Go
there.
follow if you want. We make content. Pixie's getting there.
Yes.
Supposedly, we're
she's
on
coming
the
back.
street. I'm supposed to be making more again. So
It's coming
you know,
back. There are rumors
stay tuned.
that
Stay
have
tuned.
been
There's rumors, just whispers.
spoken. Yes, the ones that you said.
You said yourself.
Like Michael Jackson, I'm spreading my own hype.
Yes,
my own
exactly,
rumors.
exactly. We're so thankful for this growing channel and this community that has been following along with all of our wonderful, crazy adventures. I wanted to do High Fantasy Wild West, and y'all said, "Yep,
Bet, let's go.
Yeehaw.
let's do it." And
Yeehaw.
it's been a hell of a ride. I cannot wait for the next phase of our big epic story.
So many things make so much more sense now.
Don't
Right?
they?
I'm remembering conversations and things that just me and Michael know about. I'm like,
Oh,
it makes
and
so
I've
much more
planted
sense.
all those little seeds in your tiny little head to just make you think, go crazy.
I
See,
am
this is
going
what
insane.
happens when a player says, hey, this is what I think my character will know about themselves. The
Here's
rest
the
is up to
thing.
you. And I go,
Here's the
are
thing.
you sure?
I gave you more along the lines of this concept with my other character.
hmm
So I was blindsided. But dear God.
But we'll talk about all of that
We'll talk
the next
about it.
time we all meet. Thank you again, everybody, for watching. And we appreciate you, of course, for being here. And we'll see you next time when the story continues on the frontiers of Eberron. We'll catch you next time.